All right, guys, it's time for another segment of Ask the Pros. You guys know I roam and travel with John Cruz, Brayan Schmitt, Ed Loughran. Try to come up with something different to help you guys. So here's the topic today. Here's the question I'm going to ask all of these pros. How do you approach, or what is your favorite way to approach pre-spawn fish in a shallow water fishery like Florida? That can be humbling. So in a shallow water fishery, I mean, 5 or 6 foot can be deep, guys. So it's not like a normal reservoir where you have a lot of deep water, treetops, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you mine. Shallow water fishery, Florida, pre-spawn bass. It's cold. I'm gonna give you mine right now. One of my favorite ways to catch big fish any time of the year, anywhere, but especially in shallow water fisheries is that dude right there. That's the Spro Uruku Shad 75. It's a 5/8 ounce lipless. I like a heavier one because I want it to get down and I really want it to deflect off a cover. Now, don't expect a whole lot of bites on this thing, but when you do, it's typically a female. I throw this on a Victory St. Croix rods, 7.3 medium heavy fast. I like a stiffer rod for this simply because I like to rip this thing out of vegetation, whether it be hydrilla, grass, lilies, deflecting off of riprap rocks or whatever. But this setup right here, 16-pound sunline shooter, that setup right there, guys, will put big fish in your boat when it's cold and those fish are really wanting or staging up to move up to spawn. Great way to catch big ones. So let's go ask Mr. Ed Loughran what he thinks. All right, guys, here we go. Mr. Ed Loughran getting tackled ready together here at the St. Johns River. Mr. Ed, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Here we are, pre-spawn in a shallow water fishery, which a lot of people are not used to. Your go-to bait for pre-spawn fish in a place like the St. Johns River where the fish really live shallow. So what you got?
Well, I like throwing a chatterbait a lot, a jackhammer. This is a 3/8. 3/8 or a half is typically what I throw, just depending on the water depth. Typically throw a shockwave trailer on a green pumpkin. I almost always throw the shrapnel color, and typically 15 or 17 pound fluorocarbon. I throw a 7'2" medium heavy Shimano X Pride, and I throw a fast reel. I just slow down when I need to, but I like getting the line when you need to. And I know this works pre-spawn because I watched the cameraman catch an 11.6 personal best bass the other day on this lake that we're staying on, and I was lucky enough to be in the boat when he did it. But it too, I believe, was on a chatterbait. Yep. And it was incredible. So great pre-spawn bait almost anywhere in the country.
That's right. Well, is there any particular type of cover that you look for in a shallow water fishery like the St. Johns River?
Yeah, on the St. Johns, you know, you look for areas close to spawning areas. So any places a little backed out, maybe you throw it around pads. If there's any aquatic vegetation, which there's not much here unfortunately anymore, but throw it around that. And you're fishing a little deeper, typically 3, 4, 5 feet of water. And you know, that's what I like doing with it.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 foot of water is a lot when it comes to fishing in Florida, and especially here at the St. Johns River. So, man, that's a good one. Some big ones have been caught on that thing, 11.6. Mine was the Uruku Shad, but I'm gonna stick with it, even though my personal best came on that thing. So let's go ask Mr. John Cruz what he thinks about it. All right, guys, I don't know why I feel like I always have to hike to get to John Cruz somewhere. He's always like up on top of a hill or something, but we're gonna ask him the same question. Myself, Ed Loughran. Mr. John, here we are, sunny Florida, or something like that. Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally sunny.
So, pre-spawn, your favorite way to catch pre-spawn fish, but here's the caveat. In Florida, shallow water fisheries, where they don't go real deep. So favorite pre-spawn bait for a place like Florida where there's not a whole lot of deep water.
No, so if there's one bait that I would be looking for pre-spawn, it's hard for me not to say to punch a D-bomb. It is hard. I'm gonna be right honest with you. It's hard, but we're talking pre-spawn. We're not talking like the massive cold front of all cold fronts. We're just saying in general pre-spawn. I'm gonna go with a 1/2 ounce black blue jackhammer chatterbait with a full size D-bomb on the back. I cut one side down a little bit right there, but it gives it a really big profile, and there's lots of action. So we are still going with the D-bomb, but just a little bit different. That half ounce, I'm gonna go with 20-pound Sunline shooter, or I'm sorry, 20-pound Sunline sniper on my reel, and you know, cash-in chatterbait rod. That's what I'm gonna use. You know, that's really good. Okeechobee, the Harris Chain, St. John's River, all those places. But it's also good on all these little small bodies of water as well. You can fish it a little bit deeper, slow it down, rip it off that grass, or you can just throw it and reel it, and they will just come up and club it. But pre-spawn one bait, there it is right there, boys and girls.
There it is. And so that's not too dissimilar from what Mr. Ed Loughran had. He had a 3/8 jackhammer with a shockwave and shrapnel on the back of it. So
that's another good call. I've caught plenty on that setup in Florida, but I want pre-spawn, I want big profile.
That's right.
That's what I'm going with.
Yep, and I went with the Ruku Shad, the 5/8. This Ruku Shad 75. So we'll see what happens. That's a staple.
That Ruku Shad's a staple in Florida. A lot of local dudes throw that. They don't like to talk about it, but they throw it. This time, it's pre-spawn.
Yeah, they know what's up.
Oh, yeah.
But there's John Cruz, guys. Look out for him, St. John's River this week. So we're going to go pick the brain of the infamous Mr. Brayan Schmitt. Wonder what this can be. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit different. Let's go see. All right, guys, last but not least, two-time champion in 2021, and he's looking to follow it up right here. The man loves fishing grass, vegetation, does well in Florida, all the way up to New York, and he looks good doing it. Mr. Brayan Schmitt.
Hello.
There he is. So, Brian, last but not least, I saved the best for last. So, here we are, pre-spawn. This is not your typical pre-spawn. We're in Florida, shallow water fisheries. We have had a month of cold weather. So give me one technique how you would approach pre-spawn fish in a shallow water fishery like Florida.
Simple, simple, simple. Because we're in Florida, we all have heard stories of overnight the masses coming up. Overnight they lock on beds everywhere. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week because it's still kind of cold, but my thought process is everybody's chucking and whining. And don't get me wrong, I love chucking and whining. I love it. Chatterbait and swim jig, I love it. Sometimes you got to slow down. Just Texas rigging, missile baits quiver, red bug candy. This will catch them coming, going, locked down. You know, you're just in some vegetation, you know, just meandering through this vegetation, shallow Florida fishing. This will get you bit. You can throw this, let it sit. You can catch fish that are spawning you can't see. For me, this is going to be the bait this week.
And pre-spawn too. I mean, let's face it, in Florida, 3, 4, or 5 foot is deep in this place.
Deep.
So is that the kind of stuff you're going to target, flipping that, whether it be pads, any type of offshore cover that we can't see?
Yes, sir. So, like you said, pre-spawn, they are staging very close to where they want to spawn. Sometimes where they're pre-spawning at is where they're going to make their nest.
That's right.
You know, so this will get it done. You know, flipping it around, slow down.
That's right. Well, there it is, 6.5 missile baits quiver. I'm sure if John Cruz was anywhere around, he would love that.
Oh, hey, John.
Oh, hey, John. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, John.
John.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, yeah. Missile bait, 6.5 quiver.
I didn't even know he was there.
I didn't either. He does that.
Yeah.
He like sneaks up on you.
I didn't know y'all.
Yeah, that's Cruz like sneaks up on you. All right, guys, there you go. You got a 5/8 Ruku Shad 75, 2 chatterbaits, different sizes and different trailers, and you got the quiver from Mr. Schmidt here. So we ain't got time for this anymore. We got to get ready. Tournament starts tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button if you're watching this on YouTube right now. And tight lines, dream big, and let's go Florida. Peace.